Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a story time of how I ghosted my situationship. Please excuse my lashes, y'all. I am in the process of finding a new lash tech. I had went to a new lash tech for these. They look good when they were filled, but now they look just looking crazy. I don't know what type of lashes she used. But if you guys live in the Orlando area and you guys know a good lash tech, drop it below in the comments. But yeah, you guys, so just a disclaimer, I don't know if this person is gonna watch this, but I don't got no smoke with you. Hopefully you ain't got no smoke with me. But this is my channel and I wanted to do the story time. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. So yeah, y'all, we're gonna name this guy Q, and I met Q at my job. I had just graduated. I had just dropped out of college, and I needed to find a job once I got home. So I started working at this call center because y'all know how those bills are. But yeah, you guys, so I needed to start working, so I started working at this call center and I met this guy named Q. Now, prior to meeting Q, my type was like clean cut. Like I had talked to someone who was in the military, and then before that, my ex, of course, he was in school to be a doctor. So like I said, my type was extremely like clean cut. Like I liked a certain type of guy, but when I met Q, I don't know, he was just different to me. Like if I would describe him, I'm gonna describe him as like artsy. Like he was like different than what I was used to, and I honestly wanted something different because I feel like I was just dating like basically the same guys and it wasn't working. So yes, I was like, let me try something different. So I started talking to Q, and so right away we got really close, you guys. Like we were like always together. We were together when we weren't at work. When we were at work, we were together. After work, we would be together. Like we were like getting close and really, really fast. Now I don't know if you guys know, but I am a Pisces, and Q was also a Pisces, you guys. And I don't know, a lot of females that I talk to, when I tell them my sign, they were like, I would never date another Pisces. And I'm with you, sis. Me either. I would never associate like talk to another Pisces. I feel like dating a man Pisces and women Pisces are so much different. Like women Pisces, we're like very like, we're nurturing when we're like dealing with somebody, and we're like straight to the point. If you make your intentions known, we make our intentions known, and we just like, we don't be playing. Unless of course you want to play, then it's free game. But other than that, you guys, were like very like, just straight to the point. But this man Pisces that I dealt with, he just liked to play. And he was like, I'm gonna describe him as like, he just did stuff to like get under my skin, get on my nerves. Like it was like he would just do stuff to get a reaction out of me. I don't know if this is the way that he could tell like if I liked him or not. Either way, that's childish. But yeah, you guys, we were always arguing. I feel like he just always did stuff pretty much to spite me.
What in the world is wrong with you?
So yeah, you guys, we started talking, and then we were talking for about 5, maybe 6 months. But anyways, you guys, my sister at the time, she had lived in California, and it was coming up on our birthday month. We actually share a birthday month. So we were planning to go to Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is like right by California. I think it's like a 3.5 hour drive. So I was planning to fly into California, and then we were gonna get a rental and drive to Las Vegas. So I don't know what prompted me, you guys, to actually like plan a trip around someone I was just talking to. But my sister had a boyfriend at the time that she was living with in California, and I was talking to him. And then my other friend, she had planned to go with her boyfriend, and my sister had a friend that was in California and she had a boyfriend as well. So we were kind of planning on like doing like a couple's trip. So yeah, so I had invited him to go. He had never been, so I was like, bet it's gonna be lit, we're gonna have fun. So before we went, it was like a month before we were going, I had went to the mall, and by this time he had got like another job. He had became like a district manager at this cell phone company. So he had actually like worked next to the Millennium Mall. If you guys know in Orlando where the Millennium Mall is, he had worked like near there. And so I had went with my 2 friends, and we had went to the mall so I can go shopping for my trip. And then after the trip, the mall trip, I was gonna stop by his job, as I always did. Like I was always in and out his job. He was a manager, so it was like, it was kind of like I could be there all the time. So I had planned to go to his job afterwards. So we were done shopping, and then me and my friends, we went to his job. Now, both of my friends, they were friends with him as well. So this wasn't like, I just wanted to make that clear so you guys just don't think like my friends were like, oh, like taking his side or something. We were all like mutual friends. We all had met at the same job. So anyways, we had went to the job, and I don't know, y'all. If you're like me, I'm very intuitive. I don't know, it's because I'm a Pisces, but I can always tell when something's off. Like I can tell when something's off with my man, with my friends, anybody. I can just always tell if there's like an inkling. If I feel like an inkling and something off, usually something is off. So I had went into the job and his job, and y'all, the vibe was weird.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
So yeah, y'all, when I say the vibe is off, I mean like, okay, so usually when this Q saw me, y'all, he was like all over me. Like he was always giving me a hug, always in my face. Like that's how I would describe him. But this day he just really didn't do that. So I already knew like something was a little weird about that. But yeah, he had told me the night before that he was hiring someone. So when I went in there, I saw that there was this female that he had just hired. She's not really important. But yeah, so she was in there. So it was just the two of them. He was pretty much training her. And y'all, when I tell you, it was like an awkward vibe when we walked in there. I don't know if they just got done flirting. I don't know. The vibe between them just seemed weird. So yeah, so we come in and he introduces all of us. So he introduces both of my friends first, and then he gets to me and he introduces me as his best friend. Since when am I your best friend? Let's just be completely honest. Like, he's never introduces me as his best friend. If anything, he used to always be like, my girl this, my girl that. So I was just like, okay, you're being weird. So I gave him a look like, don't play with me. And I think I actually told him like, don't play with me. And he just like, he started laughing because he always thought stuff was funny. That's what I mean by he was like a goofy ass nigga. So yeah, so he started laughing. He thought it was like funny. Like he was like laughing a little bit. And then after that, I had sat down with my friend and I was like, I don't know, is it just me or does it feel like the vibe is like weird? Like, is he acting different? She's like, no, you're definitely not acting weird. Like something's definitely up. So because you always need somebody to validate if you're being crazy or not. So she was like, no, you're not being crazy, but just like, chill, like, just play it cool. So I was like, bet. So anyways, I don't know how it got on the topic of like the mall trip. So he was like, oh, what did you get for your trip? My trip?
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
Yeah, I literally looked at him and I was like, my trip or our trip? And he was like, oh yeah, our trip. So at this point, I could tell like the girl, she's picking up on the vibe, and she's like, I feel like she's like having that aha moment, like, oh, this is his girl, because clearly I was getting upset and he was trying to be slick. You're not slick. So anyways, she got the hint and she was like, oh, let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and like take my lunch or whatever. And if you guys know me, you guys know I'm very petty. Very petty. So I was like, yeah, I think you should go ahead and take your lunch.
Bitch up out of here.
So yeah, y'all, so she leaves out and then he's like, yo, like, what's your deal? You good? And as he's asking me, am I good? He's like laughing the entire time because, like I said, goofy. So I was like, no, I'm not good. And I'm not good. Like, clearly you're trying. This is what I mean by trying to do stuff to get a reaction out of me. So I was like, no, I'm not good. So you guys, by this point, it starts getting explosive. I'm like mad. He's laughing. He's falling all over. He think this shit is a game. This shit is not a game. You have literally, you lost your mind. I'm telling you I'm mad and you're laughing.
Are you crazy? That shit is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. That shit got me so hot! Shit got me so fucking hot.
So yeah, he's laughing, and by this point, you know, he's like trying to help grab me and stuff like that, and I'm just like, don't touch me. We're arguing, and then I don't know how we get outside. I think my friends was like trying to remedy the issue because it was just getting out of control. And you guys, when I say I got ghetto, like, I have never gotten out of like character like in public, but I like showed my ass outside of his job because it's like, why are you laughing? Like, you're clearly doing stuff to get a reaction out of me, and that's one thing that he always did. So I was just like, no. Like, so I pretty much, if I'm gonna make it plain and simple, I pretty much showed my ass. And so he, at that point, you know, after it got like way out of control, he was just like, leave, you know, you're doing way too much outside of my job. But like, honestly, nigga, you ain't gotta dismiss me. Like, I know when it's time to leave. Like, a nigga don't ever gotta tell me when it's time to go. Like, I know when I can leave. Okay. So yeah, you guys, so we got in the car, and my friends was like, dang, like, yeah, you really showed out. They wasn't really too much on his side, because they was like, yeah, he definitely, you know, he was showing out. Like, he know what he was doing. And so, but they were like, yeah, but I don't know if it warranted all that, so like, maybe you should apologize. So I think I did text him, and I was like, my bad. Like, I was really mad, because if you guys know me for real, you guys know if I feel like I did anything to offend somebody, or if I feel like I took something overboard, I'm gonna apologize. So I apologized, and yeah, he wrote me this long message, and he was like, you're so toxic, oh my gosh. And I'm just like, me? I'm toxic? Like, you literally made a whole scene, and you got the audacity to call me toxic? Like, y'all, this person like literally brought out the worst in me. I just feel like certain niggas will drive you crazy, and then when you react, they call you crazy. Like, what? So I was just like, okay. So anyways, we stopped talking for like 2 weeks, y'all. Like, we just cut all communication, and this was like a month before the trip. So anyways, like I said, my friends were friends with him. And so one of my friends, she had wrote me, and she was like, oh, Q said he's not going on the trip anymore. And I didn't even tell my sister about the argument. I don't know why I didn't tell her. But I don't know, I felt like maybe we were going to be cool before then. So I was like, you know, we were always constantly arguing and making up. So I was like, you know, maybe we'll get over it. So I wrote him, and I was like, you're not going on the trip anymore. And he was like, nah, you know, I don't think I should go on the trip. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be like that. I don't think it's really fair of me to tell you can't go on a trip because we got into an argument. Even though I was mad, I was still kind of mad about it. I just felt like, you know, he contributed towards the Airbnb, the rental, he paid for his flight. So it's like, why? You know, I just felt like I wasn't that mad to where I couldn't be in a room with him. We would have to share a room, but I felt like, okay, I can make it work. So he agreed to go, and so we were not really the same, but we kind of like, I guess, started talking a little bit before we left. And yeah, so we get to California, y'all, and immediately him and my sister's boyfriend, and this is another thing, before I even get on like the California trip, my sister had already told me, like, before she got there, she was like, yeah, we're not together right now, like we're not in a good space. So I was like, okay, I'm not like the only one that's like coming here with somebody that I'm really not with like that. So yeah, so as soon as we got there, the first night we had to stay with my sister and her boyfriend, well, her, you know, who she was living with, her boyfriend, whatever. Him and Q kicked it off right away, like, and I really didn't like their vibe together. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Like, I just felt like they were like trying to be funny, like they were constantly making jokes, being goofy, because like I said, goofy, just constantly making jokes, and I just felt like they were trying to make us like the butt of the jokes. And it was like he would try to go tit for tat with me just to kind of like entertain everybody, and I just felt like he's so childish, like, ew. So anyways, like, we were all it was the next day, and we were all about to get ready to drive to Las Vegas in the rental. We rented out this big SUV. And I always describe this like moment in my like life when I just decided, like, I'm about to boss up my life. Like, I was in that car, you guys, and I had like epiphany. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a new job, I'm gonna move to Atlanta, I'm just gonna stop dealing with certain people. And I was like, yeah, I'm never talking to this guy after this trip. Like, I had already made up my mind. I'm like, I'm just gonna ghost him because I'm really not happy with the situation. Like, I feel like he genuinely brought out the worst in me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't want no contact with him after this trip. So the trip was pretty much still going on. It was okay, but like I said, he was being goofy most of the trip. So the last night comes and we decide, when me and my sister, we go on like a vacation or a trip, we always choose like one night to do like a really fancy restaurant. So we had went to this restaurant in the MGM Grand, and everyone had like bought dresses. Like, we were like, it was like a very fancy occasion. So like I said, it was in the MGM Grand, and if you guys know, the MGM Grand has like terrible parking. So Q and my sister's boyfriend decided that they were going to park the car, and we were just, they had brought us to the front so we can walk in. We had on heels. So we went into the restaurant, you guys. It was so bougie. Oh my gosh, like, that was one of the most bougie restaurants I've ever probably still been in to this day. And as we're sitting there, so yeah, y'all, as we're sitting in the restaurant, I'm noticing like it's taking them forever to get into the restaurant. Like, what are they doing? So y'all, I kid you guys not, it probably took them like an hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours to get inside the restaurant. So they come into the restaurant, and you guys, the first thing I noticed is that Q is like high as hell. And I'm just like, okay, the issue is not that you're high, because obviously, you know, we're on vacation and stuff. The issue is that you're being loud and you're being ghetto and you're being obnoxious. Like, he thinks everything is a joke. He's laughing. And at this point, I'm embarrassed, because I'm like, look at where, like, do you see the surroundings? Do you see where we're at? Like, we're at this really nice restaurant. Everybody's dressed up. And that's another thing. If you guys know me, I like a man that knows how to dress. Not saying he didn't know how to dress like all the time, but this specific night, the drip just wasn't all together. And I had on like this nice ass dress, and I'm just like, what is he wearing? But that's a whole other thing. So it just made it, like, I just feel like it just made it even worse, because I'm like, you don't look good, and then you're being ghetto, you're being loud, and like, what? Y'all, I genuinely felt embarrassed. And that's one thing that I always tell people that I deal with: don't embarrass me. And I just felt like he embarrassed me, you guys. So anyways, I still have never to this day like looked at a guy and told him like I'm genuinely turned off. Like, I looked at him and I was like, ew, I'm really turned off right now. And he just shrugged it off like, oh, whatever. And I genuinely think he felt like, oh, this, like, I feel like he maybe felt like he had me wrapped around his finger. And that's where you messed up, because I can cut off anybody. So yeah, he just shrugged it off like, whatever, you know, like, he didn't care that he was embarrassing me. And I'm just like, your time is ticking. Like, we literally had one, like, this is like the last night before, like, you know, I was going back to, you know, Florida the next day. So bad. You don't care. You out here embarrassing me. I got something for you. So the next day comes, and we're driving back to California because my flight was out of California. And so by this point, I'm like already like kind of like distancing myself. Like, I had made in my mind like, yeah, I ain't talking to him after this trip. So I'm already like kind of giving him the cold shoulder. He's trying to make conversation with me, and I'm already kind of like just not giving him too much attention, because I'm like, let me just make this a smoother transition. So yeah, we're all in the car, and he actually had to stay an extra day because he got his flight late. So he actually had to end up staying another night with my sister and her boyfriend. So they were all getting ready to drop me off at the airport, and I was getting out the car, and I had hugged my sister. I hugged her boyfriend, and I can see him like over here from the corner of my eye. He's like waiting on me to like acknowledge him, and I'm thinking, I'm not gonna say nothing to you. Like, we're good. Like, I'm done. So I will never forget, you guys. He was like, you're so mean. And I'm like, what? Like, I knew what he was talking about, but I just was like, nigga, leave me alone. Like, I don't care. So yeah, y'all. So he was just like, you're so mean. Like, you're really not gonna acknowledge me. Like, you're not gonna say bye. And I'm like, bye. Y'all, when I tell y'all that was the last time I seen him, like, I literally ghosted him after that. Like, he came back, we never saw each other, like, after that night. I think we did, like, months later, but it was, like, long done and over with by then. But y'all, like, I was just like, I'm done. Like, I just was like, I need to boss up my life. And he was just not a person that was adding any value to my life. And I just was like, yeah, he gotta get ghosted. Like, you don't even get people like that an explanation. You just move on with your life and you level up. And I just felt like I just had to, like, leave him in the dust, because he just, first of all, he brought the worst in me. No one I've ever dealt with, like, called me, like, toxic before. So the fact that you called me toxic in, like, the little 5-6 months we were dating each other was just like, what? I'm not toxic. And I stand 10 toes on that. But yeah, you guys, so that's my story of how I ghosted that nigga, that situationship. I don't regret it. Like I said, I don't got smoke with him. Yeah, I don't got smoke with him. I just want to share that story time. I'm stuttering. Gosh. But yeah, I just want to share that story time. As always, you guys, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Yeah, you guys, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and see you in my next video.